let's keep it moving from New Jersey up to New York. Breakfast Club interview. Tyrese was on the Breakfast Club doing his best Van Jones impersonation. Lots and lots of crying. Tyrese was very emotional.
He said Van Jones impersonation.
He said this right here. This is fake.
But $23.
Before we get to that, didn't Tyrese dress up like
Marvin Gaye
to get his inner Marvin Gaye
national anthem?
Did he get it?
It was very embarrassing.
Did he get the inner Marvin Gaye though?
No.
Okay, I was just asking.
That's what he was really crying about. Marvin Gaye ain't hit.
Tyrese know how to stay in the news. I respect what he said up until the end.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why.
So basically what we're talking about is a moment during the interview where tears began to flow when Charlamagne asked how Tyrese copes with the loss of loved ones, including his mother, 2 sisters, his Fast and Furious co-star Paul Walker, and baby boy director John Singleton. And Tyrese said, "I'm doing the best I can with every 24 hours I get," as he started crying. This is what grown is. Black men cry.
Black men cry. When divorces happen, women aren't the only one that are devastated. When a miscarriage happens, women are not the only one that you should be checking on. Stop skipping over the man, and just checking on the woman.
Check on the men.
Yeah, because I know.
Was right. He was right about all that. Right. He was right about that.
Well, it depends. What if you don't want the baby? You ain't got to check on the man.
I mean that's cool, but if you want it, he was saying
if you wanted it.
But he was right. He was right. He was right in what he was saying. And I rock with Tyrese.
Yeah, men get overlooked a lot of times when it comes.
We carry when you're a responsible young man. See, being a man and being a responsible grown man are two different things.
You got to make that shit happen.
You got to make it happen.
You got to make it happen.
And when you can't make it happen, or you're down on yourself, you will let some tears fall because you're supposed to make it happen regardless. Mm-hmm. So I respected Tyrese up until he got to the end.
I never sold you on fake. None of this jewelry on my arm is real. This bracelet right here look real as $23 on Amazon.
And my problem was, so why are you wearing this fake jewelry then? Why are you still trying to front and put on? He
has an image.
Yeah.
He got an image.
You don't need the image anymore.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't, because you're sitting here saying you're trying to. Why are you going to play
Tyrese,
this image?
Bro.
I understand what you're saying.
That's Coca-Cola.
How much of it is true, or how much is he playing to you?
I'll give it 50-50.
Yeah.
I'll say 50-50. Half of it's true and half of it's fake.
I agree.
Okay.
That's
what I want to add. How much is this acting is he putting into this?
Half of it, half of it's fake, and the other half is real. I'll give him that all day.
Yeah, I believe Tyrese is doing a balancing act where half of it is true and half of it is bullshit.
Can he make? Hold on. So he's making himself cry on.
No, I believe that's real. I believe that's real.
Yeah, I believe.
Is he embellishing it? I'll say that.
Yeah.
Meaning he's when somebody.
But I'm just saying he can't cry on cue.
No. You can't. You can't, because listen, if you naming people that was close to you that he worked with, right, that can hit home.
Oh no. I'm not saying that. No. But I'm just saying, being an actor, he can turn the waterworks on I believe whenever he wants to.
See, that's where I say that's real, because it's now follow me.
Okay.
He asking the questions, which is real, right? And it's going to make you cry. Now, you are an actor. This is why I say he can embellish it. You feel what I'm saying?
So now you're going to get in the character.
You're going to get in the character. He got in character. What happened? The old girl in the back, she's like, you going to make me cry. And how many other women, black women, saw this chocolate nigga over here crying? This man crying. Goddamn, boy, let me look at this. I'm going to go on Spotify and download his album. That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got over let's say you got 3 million fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need 50 to 100,000 of them just to do something.
And then another topic of that interview that I do remember was Baby Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is it's a
classic.
It's a classic.
And he said it bombed in the movies.
Yeah.
It's a cult classic then.
Yes, it is.
It's a cult classic.
Yes,
That's
it is.
what it is.
It is.
No, it made money on, I guess, on home video.
Yeah,
It makes money on
video.
BET. Like
BET, that's the most run movie on BET.
Exactly.
It kept BET.
So it's a cult classic, but it's definitely that classic, especially in the black community. Like, for
I mean, when John number one, when John Singleton made all his classes back then from the 80s, 90s and stuff, those underground movies. But they are all time. Actually, if you look at it, it didn't bomb in the movies because look how much it costs to make it. So you gotta look at it from that. How much it costs to make and produce the movie.
Yes.
Now, once you get into box office, it actually made money. Did it went worldwide and probably made money? Nah, probably did not. It probably just did well in the States and probably in Virgin Islands and stuff
it wasn't
like
breaking
that.
no records and stuff
Nah.
like it wasn't like Baby
but-
Boy done brought
right,
in.
But if they put 50 million, if they put 50,000 in, it done made his money and did it what it's supposed to.
No,
So,
they ain't putting no 50 million in Baby
I
Boy.
didn't say 50. I changed it to 50,000.
Yeah.
Now it probably was about 50,000.
No, it was more than that.
probably
It was in the
it probably-
millions.
It was probably about the couple.
It was like about 2-3
Couple
million.
million.
Yeah. It was
Okay,
about-
so all right, so
But he made his money back.
He made it back
several times.
So right. So what? In other words, based off of the actual
Yeah,
cost,
well, they're talking about it bombing in theaters.
it didn't though.
Yeah, it did. That's what he was referring to it.
But this is the reason why I say it didn't bomb in the theaters because of how much it costs to make it, and when it went into movie theaters. All it takes is one time somebody come see it. Now,
No, movie got to make back its money and turn a profit.
It did make back its money.
Yeah, but
and
it's
it
still-
did turn a profit.
Well, it got to turn an expected profit. See, it bombed because it didn't turn the profit it was expected.
It was expected to when it first came out. That's
Yeah.
what you consider, and you don't see
Mine-
it coming
yeah.
on the back end.
Right, but you knew 9 times out of 10 you're not going to see it anyway. So me as me when business and money, right? If I took $2 million and I invest in this movie, right, and it went to the movie theaters, and it was only a regional success, meaning in the United States, it didn't go globally, none of that shit. So in the United States, it pretty much made money. So if I put $2 million in, I know that bitch did at least 100.
Okay, is that his most well-known movie? Because Tyrese in a lot of stuff.
He got
Fast and Furious.
yeah, Fast and Furious and Transformers.
Yeah.
I was just calling that like it was just a question, like
I'm
because
just
we all like he was pretty popular from Baby Boy. Everybody know Jody.
Yeah,
everybody
niggas
knows
know
Jody.
Joe Jody.
No,
Everybody knows Jody.
You walk up into these white folks and
White
ask them
folks
who
don't know
Jody
Jody.
is. They don't know.
The uppity Negroes don't know Jody. The hood niggas know Jody.
Cult class.
Okay, so I think the bigger issue is Tyrese constantly crying on camera. I was reading a lot of comments on social media just in regards to the interview, and a lot of men were saying what my feelings were. I feel like as a man, it's okay to cry, but not publicly, like the way Van Jones and Tyrese do.
Or
But
like
who is to say when you supposed to cry?
Privately.
I understand.
Why
Yeah, but
cry?
you could catch me maybe once.
I mean, there are
You might
exceptions.
catch me once
Yeah.
crying out in public. But
Yeah,
after
if
that,
it's a
like,
funeral, that's
I
an
don't-
exception.
You're not going to see my pain. Like I'm not broadcasting.
The
my
pain gonna
for
be
you to-
the pain's gonna be revealed whether you see it, whether you
Well,
verbally
yeah.
express it. Or
I've
not.
But it's about
How
imagery.
many times have I seen you cry on that you're not in a movie? I've seen you crying a lot. Just
And it's social media, too.
So
I've
this, so
seen
this,
you crying
So
a lot,
Tyrese be
though.
crying in his kitchen and go, let me share this with the world.
So this is where I'm saying this is where the 50-50 come in. That's why I say he be embellishing. He's in his actor mode. That's the 50. That's the other.
But the
50%
thing
of
is,
some bullshit.
it shouldn't be. It should be
He's
zero.
acting, people.
So now it kind of kills because you've been crying a lot. Like
Yeah.
I've seen you crying
Like Van
more
Jones.
on social
It
media
don't.
than I've seen in the
It
movies.
don't. Listen, I'm gonna tell you why it makes sense. It's a numbers game, people. That's all.
I mean, to stay relevant, but all you want to keep stabbing is Tyrese crying again.
Hey, listen, he don't give a damn about the motherfuckers that's talking shit. Because guess what? Look. He's still winning. Because if you talking shit saying, oh, you shouldn't be crying, guess what? You doing exactly what the wanted you to do. Talk about it.
You're right. But this is a guy who also has dating problems. And from a guy,
so we know.
And as a guy, women love a man, they say, but then we know women don't really like a dude that cry like that.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I say act embellishing. I say
but
he embellished.
Even if you're acting, it's still
so now
unattractive.
I might understand why some women like
the men talking about it.
Yeah.
The women ain't talking about it.
Yeah,
who gives a fuck what a man say?
Well,
if I'm a man, I don't care what a man say.
Well, it's a discussion for men to have.
Well, guess what, though? You still doing what I want you to do. Saying that is talk about me.
But that's
what he wants.
But that's why the women are leaving you, because you're not acting manly at certain times when you should be acting manly. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive and crying, but me seeing you cry 8-9 times, over social media, that's not really, manly like that. It kind
that's kind of
the thing. And how women be like, yeah, I want the guy to cry. No, the fuck
no, you don't.
I got you. And see, again, I get what y'all saying. I'm not disagreeing with you saying. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, what is his game plan of doing this? What you just said, he got on one side, he got the women. Oh, he crying.
Tyrese.
Right, but they're spending money. On the other hand, the niggas is talking shit, but it's still going inside what's being said. For him, he's not making no music. He said he got an album out.
Yeah, he got an album.
Classic at that.
So now, by everybody talking about him, and he mentioned the album, right? That's
Classic.
Gonna make people go listen to it, even if it's just one time, because now you get money off of streaming. And, excuse me. All the other platforms. So
true.
Again, when you are in that top tier, it's all about numbers. So like I said, if you got let's say 100 million people, right? Out of 100 million people, if you got 10 to 20 million people that's on your side, you win. But guess what? The other 80 million gonna still be talking shit about you. Guess what? You still win, because what they gonna be doing? Google searching. Oh, Baby Boy, he said something about Baby Boy. Let me go see that. They gonna look at Baby Boy. He said something about the album. Let me look that up. They gonna listen to it.
Well, if it's a money thing, then that's cool. But it's not
a money thing.
It's about imagery and the portrayal of black men.
Imagery.
Again,
he's doing a lot of crying.
His imagery is set. Let me tell you why. He been in the game over 20 years, bro.
Yeah, but that's why he gets the attention from women. It's because he's rich and famous.
And that's what the fuck you wanted from the women, because the women's gonna spend the goddamn money. They're the biggest spenders.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
they outnumber us 4-1, right? On top of that, they spend money. So if you got women that's on your side because you're crying and shit, and they're going to listen to your music, and they're going to look at Baby Boy, make sure your pocket's good, where you got the niggas over here, they're just talking, they're hating because you're getting attention. It doesn't matter what these folks are talking about, because you're not spending no money. He depending on these niggas.
It's not about money. Tyrese will get a pass simply for being rich and famous. What we're saying is other men shouldn't follow his lead and think crying on camera is going to do the same for them as it does for Tyrese.
So how many of us is actually in front of the camera, though?
Niggas go live all the time.
I've seen my fair share of niggas crying on
Niggas cry on live.
So again, I just I don't want to sit here and it's a conversation to where you have to be behind closed doors to cry.
No, it's not that. But again, it's a time and a place for everything.
Who said that? Nigga, if I feel like crying right then and there, I'm going to cry right there.
You shouldn't be crying all the time.
So now we're going to put a number on how many times you cry.
Yes, I'm getting ready to put a number on how many times you crying.
How you going to do that?
Because obviously you're not changing your situation if you're trying.
It depends on what you're crying about.
Exactly. So he's not crying about the same shit.
No, he's crying about some of the shit is shit that should not be reserved for in front of the camera.
That's up for discussion. I get you. But what I'm saying is,
when you said he was crying about them mentioning his, the people who passed. Understandable.
Yeah, I understand that.
And he was talking
what
about.
I'm saying? That's
he was
an
talking
emotional
about,
thing.
He was talking about relationships.
Oh, I could understand him crying in one interview, but again, he was going live doing the shit.
So this is where I'm gonna say this again.
I know it's acting, but it's still about the imagery of what you're portraying.
It doesn't matter when that bank account's going change.
But see, you're pushing image over money
because that's in that.
But we're not talking about with Tyrese. We're talking about men in general.
Like what other man can you?
Men in general.
What other man can you pinpoint that cries as much as Tyrese does?
Other than Van Jones. They could have a cry off. That's a versus battle for your ass.
Man that cries as much as this man does.
Again, you gotta. I'm playing devil's advocate.
I get what you're saying. It works for Tyrese,
right? It works for.
But what about other men?
You listen.
You're not Tyrese.
You can't.
Yeah.
You're not Tyrese.
Exactly.
You might not be able to pull off.
That's the point.
But hold on. But this is what I also want to be responsible and say too. You don't get to dictate when and where somebody cries. If they feel like they want to let that shit out right then and
that's cool.
They can do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather somebody go ahead and cry than sit here and hold that shit in, snap and start.
But now
that shit look weak, bro.
Now, and let me
depending on what,
like Dub's saying. Now, see, if you're crying because you just lost somebody, stuff like that, I understand this. Yeah. I understand that.
Hell, I understand crying after losing a game.
I understand
sports.
That pain.
So what is not acceptable to cry after?
But after I've seen you cry,
I asked a question. Let's before you go to there. What is not? Because he set the tone as far as certain.
Okay, perfect example is when he went live crying about his wife, screaming, "What do you want from me?"
Like you losing your girl. I don't.
Losing your girl.
I'm just saying.
Wife.
Look.
Crying on live stream.
His wife.
You asked me what I thought was unacceptable.
Yeah.
I just told you.
I don't
think.
I think publicly.
Crying over your girl publicly. It's not a. Especially.
So you never cried over.
Stop.
You never
cried over publicly.
The second time you cried over, I'm done with you.
So you never cried over.
I said the first time. I said the first time.
Only one time you cried over.
You get one time. The second time I don't want to hear that shit.
Okay. So all right.
So one time.
Have you cried over a girl before?
Yeah.
Okay. So
but I'm not saying it's wrong to cry. You can cry over having a good day.
You should not be on the fourth time crying over this chick. I'm sorry.
That's his wife, though.
It don't matter.
Don't cry around me.
That's not his girlfriend. And let's just say if it is his girlfriend, let's just say he was faithful and it just for some reason fizzled out.
First time.
No, I mean a nigga can cry over what he want to cry over. It's just make sure the camera ain't on.
I consoled you the first time. After the first second,
listen, I ain't gonna front. I saw somebody local, right? He got on camera, TikTok on top of that. And he basically said, "Hey, look, I cheated on my wife. If anybody thought that I said she was crazy, he pretty much spilled the whole beans. That's beans. That's what it is."
Yeah, I think that's weak to cry over that shit publicly.
But again, I get it. But this is the new day and era as far as social media. You feel what I'm saying?
Look, a woman, and this just goes. A woman
we
see you cry a couple of times, she gonna go with that. But if she know you a crybaby, you
see, it's about the image and the portrayal.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, I'm
like now she looking to you and she expecting you to cry. like
in those videos when racism happens, like old boy in Nevada. You remember the one like 2 or 3 weeks ago when he was registering people to vote and the white people were talking about trying to hang him and shit. And he just broke down crying and shit during. Like, that's the worst time to cry when you're in front of racists being racist.
When he's in front of racists and he's being racist?
No, when he's in front of racists and they're being racist to him. Well, that's not a good time to cry in front of them.
I feel you, but is he outnumbered?
He's out. That don't mean you got to cry.
Nope. Is he outnumbered?
He's outnumbered.
What's his age? What's his age group?
I don't know what his age was.
You can't get like around.
I mean, he wasn't a teenager. I'll put it like that. It might have been acceptable as a teenager. He is a grown ass man.
But you don't know what type of upbringing he has.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. It's not about why he did it. It's about the fact he did it.
If you never experienced something like that, you can't react.
Yes, you can.
No, because not everybody has been raised.
I'm saying
not everybody's been raised to like.
I get what you're saying.
So you got to go. So if you,
I'm saying what you should not do in a situation like that.
If he hasn't been okay, that's a learning moment. But you can't if he's under. That's an intense
and
pressure, and he can't respond.
And at times you look to me for strength. I can't be strong. And you know, like you're looking to me for strength, but now I'm crying. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not saying.
Well, and see again. I see again. I'm gonna walk that line. You can now because it shows that you have some type of humility as well as you are human. You know what I'm saying? If you somebody like that,
no doubt, no doubt.
So now I agree with you. Not crying all once you show them like once. Hell, maybe twice. It all depends.
Okay, boom. You got. I consoled you. I
got you. I got you.
After you done kept.
I feel you. But this is where I say 50-50. I say it's 50-50. Half of it's real, half of it's fake.
Embellishment.
And he's embellishing. So this is where it goes. It falls in line with my theory of him embellishing. It's real.
He got any movies coming out? He just dropped the album. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
He just dropped the album.
You know you promoting.
You gotta,
you
gotta build excitement. This is his way of promoting. Instead of, hey, y'all, go out and buy and support my album. Ain't that?
So now every time I see Tyrese, I'm expecting him to be crying. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
Money.
I expected some point during the interview that Tyrese is going to have some type of breakdown.
That's just like, listen, I'm gonna give you an example. That's just like say the effing podcast, once it becomes the #1 podcast in America and across the globe and shit, it's gonna be certain things that you're gonna be able to do at a whim and people gonna gravitate to it just like that. Because that's who the fuck you are and that's what you do. And people rock with you. So in Tyrese's case, right, he has fans.
He does.
He has fans. So when he gets out there, he start embellishing and he start being emotional, his fans is supporting him. They dropping that dollar for him. So in his eyes, fuck what y'all niggas talk about that's talking about me. They over here helping me. They paying me. They keeping me in my. So when he said, I got a $23 fake necklace, I bet you over 1,000 of them sitting his ass up $50 to $100. Bet you they do.
So he can get a real necklace.
Yes. Yes. I helped my baby get that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, come on, bro. I mean, it's all a game. Once you get up there, bro, you can manipulate people like that to spend money on you without you saying, spend some money on me or buy this album or go support this movie. He's talking about real life issues that really does affect him. So he has a way to where he can use that shit to where it's causing him to get money. Remember, he's on social media platforms. So when people start Googling shit, right, that shit goes up. He on TikTok, he on Instagram, he on Facebook, he might be on Twitter, X, all that shit. So when he start doing all that shit, all them numbers goes up. He getting paid on all those platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever.
Okay, since a topic was Baby Boy, give me your favorite hood movie.
Oh, Boys in the Hood, or Boys in the Hood, or what's my old dog, Menace to Society.
Oh, what you got, dog?
Attack the Block.
I know Dove was going to be. I'd be like Snow on the Bluff. I'd never forget watching that at Dove house. I was staying with Dove, and I come in the house one, and the movie just started, and it's the beginning of the movie, like the beginning. You're like, oh, watch this. And when that turn come and that, when he come to ride, and you're like, what in the world is it? Only at Dove house when I see something like this. Snow on the Bluff is one, but I'm going to go with
Got Belly.
In Too Deep.
Damn, I ain't seen that in a
I was watching that this morning, actually. That In Too Deep is one of my. LL said you got to pray to God. This dude.
And you got, like I said, you can go Belly. You can go
Shotters.
Shotters. I mean, bro, it's countless.
State Prop. It's a bunch of hood movies. Streets is Watching, another one of my favorite hood movies.
Or called Master P shit.
I got the hook.
I got the hook up.
Or about it.
Yeah, it's been a bunch of hood classics.
There's hood classes out there.
Yeah, well,
and can't none of them get on BT with damn Baby Boy. I swear.
Exactly. Oh, Boys in Hood get up there.
Yeah, it get a little run.
Boys in Hood get some run up there.
It get a little run. All right, Doug.
okay, we're gonna keep it moving.